Okay, so I'm ready to go live, yeah? Yeah, I know, I was trying to talk, but it wasn't working, so I'm ready to go. Hello, and welcome back to Oschersleben for the second attempt to try to get everything to go live here.
Charles, get him to mute his microphone in Discord TeamSpeak, please.
A little bit wide there on the stream, so... We've still got 12 minutes left of quali, and we should be ready for you guys soon. I hope everybody's actually had a good week as well. It was a little bit snowy up here in the north of Scotland, and still a little bit wet outside. Sun's been out. As Mick, he's diving into the pits now. 143 Callum Newsham up at the top of the standings at the moment. Lewis Brown just behind. Not too much in it. Max Bird as well. Again, they're all within the same second there. Andreas Lunden running in 4th position at the moment, 144.474 on the timing boards. Callum Brockhurst running 5th. A few guys still not managed to set a time. We have a new guy in the race tonight. His name is George Leslie, and he'll be racing tonight in Sim Games Online. Nice entry into Shell Corner there by Lewis Brown. A little bit loose on the back end. These cars are notoriously difficult to keep going with because the centre of gravity is so centralised and there's not a lot of weight to the cars in general. 175cc engine inside. Max Bird taking a nice wide entry into the start-finish straight. So we've had this week, we've had a nice bit of comments and stuff to get a few of the issues from last week sorted out. So we have been working our hardest for you guys. I do believe Max Edmondson's just sorting some stuff out in his car. He'll be out on track in no time. Andreas Lunden. 144.74 still. 144.474, sorry. Remember, this qualifying session only means much only for the last race of today, which is the qualifying race. The first one is a random grid order that the game throws out. The second one is a reverse grid of the previous race. And then the last one is going to be obviously the run of the qualifying all over. Obviously Oschersleben, big in the touring car scene. It's a fantastic track. I drove around here when we were doing the Legends testing. George Leslie, one of the new guys to the Sim Games Online community. Nice line into Shell Corner. Not using too much curb. Just going to take a look at more curb on this side. Nicely done from him. Hope everyone actually has had a good week. I personally have had one. All the other guys have. So we'll actually, if we could stay on board with Callum Newsham as he's doing this lap, and we'll explain all the corners here at Oschersleben. So we're coming down to what is considered hotel. So this big right-hander, almost hairpin-like corner is called hotel. We're going to see some good racing around here today. Now we're coming up to another wide left-hander hairpin called Haschreuder. Really nicely done through there with him. And come through the triple, which is a weird kind of kinked corner. And Andreas Lunden has gone off track. We could go back to Callum Newsham though. I want to be able to go through the corners. So we come round the last of triple. We come towards the McDonald's kink. I had a few of the guys laughing at me saying, is there an actual McDonald's on the corner? I assume it's just called McDonald's due to a driver's name. We come down towards the Shell curve, spelt with a K. And then Amen curve just shortly after. And then this next corner, the right-hander, is the Bauer curve. And last corner here is Zeppelin curve. The Zeppelin curve was actually named after the Zeppelin building site that was only located not too far away from here. Must have been about 15 kilometers in Oschersleben. I think if we look at it, it's approximately 30 kilometers from Magdeburg in Germany. So Magdeburg was actually where they designed and created quite a lot of the airships during the early 1920s to late 30s, before it was deemed unsafe due to the Hindenburg accident. Max Bird now fastest on 1:42.7. Callum Newsham 1:42.7 as well, so there's really not much in it with these guys. Lewis Brown still 1:43.2. Only two drivers breaking in the 1:42s at the moment. Obviously, as the track starts to rubber up a little bit, we're only at 97% of the maximized grip on the track. Max Francis now in his Mintex livery car. Shell curve now. Nice use of the curb there from him. The thing we've noticed with these cars is, even though they may not be really quick, they are so fun to drive. They give kind of a different level to racing. Max Francis not managing to really set a better time, so he's going to pull in and probably go into the garage. George Leslie, he's on a 1:45 at the moment. Again, he hasn't time in the car yet. Really nice purple livery from him, actually. So a few little kind of quirky things about this track. It actually is still used in some of the World Touring Car Championship events. GT Challenge and used to run around here as well. And And obviously DTM being a touring car league, obviously German as well, they'll be running around Oschersleben too. AutoGP, the lap record is a 118.8, and AutoGP, if you don't know, is kind of similar to what can be considered as Formula 2 nowadays. Formula 3000 such as. That lap record was actually set by Sergei Afanasyev, who went on to do a little bit of more race car driving rather than open wheelers. GT World Challenger, I think that's the recent thing. I was just thinking where I had seen that name before. Matthew Williams just coming out to set a few laps now. .148 left of quali. Make sure to share if you're on Facebook at the moment, or even on Twitch or YouTube. You can share the race that's going on live at the moment. You can share it on your feed. It would really mean a lot to us. If you know of somebody that might like the racing that's going on, feel free to show them the action that's going to be happening around the track. Max Bird back down in third as Callum Newsham goes a little bit faster, 142.4. Lewis Brown 142.5. So again, really not much in between drivers. We know these three guys are really fast. Max Bird going fastest, the 142.1. Nick Sutton running down in fifth at the moment. Got a glimpse of his full setup today, and I'll tell you something, it's one fantastic piece of kit he's got available to him. A little bit of a slide through the last corner. .143.7. He does manage to go fastest on his faster time. Still not enough to get on Andreas Lunden. There's a 142.5 now. They're all really close together. Sutton again. I've got to say, he's got to be one of my favourite liveries. He's having a bit of a slide around the track. Still, I think he's got one more lap to go, same as Callum Newsham. He's gone back into the pits now to finish off today's quali session for the last event. Thank you very much, Kieran Wright. I know for a fact that I have seen your work before on the Invictus Racing League. You definitely do a good job there, as I do know it's difficult, especially on the Xbox, to do a lot of good comms, and you definitely know how to throw that stuff about. So thank you very much for the support, buddy. Hello, and welcome back to what is considered Oschersleben, which is the next 3 rounds of the championship here in the Legends event. I'm your host, Andrew Gattin, and if you joined us for quali session, we'll see how that pans out in the last race today. But right now, we're going to see how all the drivers react to being shuffled about on the grid randomly as the game does that. And we will get ourselves ready to go. So as I said, I am going to be your lead commentator today, as I was for the past few weeks, and we'll be watching through and giving you guys as much action as you possibly can for the racing that's going to unfold. Hello, and welcome back to what could only be described as going to be one of the best races in the Legends race so far. This is the first round of today's racing. We'll have 3 races today. We're at the Oschersleben Moto Circuit here, just 30 kilometers away from Magdeburg, Germany. It's going to be a fantastic race today, as we have 8 cars, do apologize, on the grid at the moment. Going to be some good challenging for position. There's going to be 3 guys out in front, as we can imagine. Lewis Brown, one of the Mintex red cars, so watch out for him. We also have Max Bird in the magenta and white car, and obviously Callum Newsham in the red and white car. We'll see a lot of these guys battling out in the front of the pack today, but make sure you're watching the back of the pack too, guys, because there's going to be a lot of battles going on. These guys are really closely matched when it comes to race pace. All the cars are homologated and are perfectly fast for a moto circuit like this. We're just waiting for a couple of the guys to jump in the server now. Graham Leslie there. He's going to be a fast guy around the track, I do believe, today. Set a few decent times in practice. Again, he's not had a lot of time in the car. He's similar to Andreas, so see him push for a position in the championship. We're going to see some good racing today, I think, obviously, on YouTube. Both cheering for Max Francis and Max Bird. So make sure to pass it on to them that you say good luck. Newsham, he's actually starting first on the grid. I don't know how good that's going to work out for everybody else, but obviously Andreas Lunden starting in 3rd position. It's going to be a decent start from him, it seems. Mick Sutton starting in 5th. See if he can make something of that position today. Max Bird down in 7th, and Lewis Brown right next to him. Matthew Williams will be sitting at the back of the grid. Fantastic, Anna. Hopefully you can give him a little bit of encouragement from everybody here at the Sim Games Online. We can't wait to see some awesome racing. For the grid to go. We're still waiting for a few of the drivers to fully connect to the server. But I'm going to run through a little bit of facts about Oschersleben again. As we talked about, this is the moto circuit, so we've not got the silly lines to it. And here we go. We've actually started. Race director didn't let us know it was going to start as soon as it was, but Callum Newsham gets a good start off the line. Obviously, he had a bit of a gap, actually. Must have been the game glitching there. He's already pretty much a second off the line, but Andreas Lunden, second. Max Bird getting spun out. Did a 180 there. He's all right. He's managed to recover. Mick Sutton down in 6th. Callum Brockhurst taken to the gravel there. Mick's bashed him, but I think he's recovered. Mick's coming in the inside line. Callum Brockhurst has nowhere to defend. Lewis Brown running in 4th position already. What a fantastic start from him. George Leslie. George Leslie, he's only in 3rd position at the moment. If he can hold on, Callum Brockhurst still behind. He's had to take to the AstroTurf there. He's holding Max Francis behind. Matthew Williams running at the back of the pack. He's only just behind Max Bird. And a little bit of oversteer there. That little snap of oversteer can be a little too much for these cars, and you lose a lot of speed. Callum Newsham nearly about 2 seconds ahead of everybody now. Andreas Lunden. He's well, he's dove into the pits. So I'm assuming he's got a little bit of damage to the car, but Max Bird now gaining a position because of that. A few of the guys as well, all up into one place up. Brown is now in second position. He's made a fantastic recovery from where he started, but he's about 3.5 seconds down on Callum Newsham. Unless Callum Newsham makes a mistake, it's going to be very difficult for Lewis to catch up. Max Francis putting Max Bird on, and that's a collision there. As Mick Sutton has crashed. Oh, we've got a big collision on track. Safety car has been deployed now. Big, massive incident there. It seemed that Callum Brockhurst and Mick Sutton had a little bit of a tussle. So all the drivers will be told to bunch up and wait for the safety car. We've been told it's going to be a virtual safety car now due to it was only the cars managed to recover themselves. There was nobody that's still stranded. So this could be massive now, as Callum Newsham's lead is now going to be dropped considerably. Mick Sutton unfortunately getting tangled up in that. I think him and Callum pushing each other a little bit too hard. Callum has now been told to pick up the pace. Last Reuter can be a little bit difficult when you're coming out. If you get a faster entry, and it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get a faster exit in that corner, because it goes on for a good while. We're back to green flag running, but now Lewis Brown has a chance to make something of this. Callum Newsham just having to fight now. Mick Sutton having another incident there. Matthew Williams just gets a little bit tangled up. Mick's just not having a good day again. Running in last position. He's going to try and push a little bit more to get back up there, I would assume. Max Francis now really all over the back of Callum Brockhurst. Andreas Lunden, after pitting, is now back in contention. He's pushed himself up another place. He's back in 6th. Looking on the timing sheet, Callum Newsham's just holding off Lewis Brown, and that is George Leslie who's went off the track now. Must have just a little bit of oversteer, and he's went into the gravel. Lewis is again, he's not too far off the slipstream right now on Callum Newsham. Bird's managed to gain a few places now after having a little bit of a lap 1 incident. So it's going to be these three guys, it looks like, for the rest of the race. Andreas Lunden is back up in 4th place. He's really made some places this lap. Fantastic work from him. Brockhurst had to let him pass, it seems. Newsham's setting the fastest lap there, 1:43. Brockhurst running in 5th. This is a good position for him if he manages to hold on to that. After getting a podium last week, I think he got 3rd place over in Knockhill for one of the races, if I remember rightly. But Lunden's just a little bit too fast. I can see him pulling away within the next lap. Newsham's got a bit of a gap forming to Brown now. 1st and 2nd. But after that little bit of a spin onto the gravel for George Leslie, he's managed to put himself up in 7th position. So he's not lost too much out of all of that. of a gap forming. 8 minutes to go in the first race. Nick Sutton running in 8th. He had a little bit of a couple of squabbles on track during that race, but 1:42 for Callum Newsham, setting fastest lap again. He's got a little bit of a gap now over Lewis. Lewis is not having the best of races, it seems, when it comes to trying to catch up to him. 1.2, 1.3 seconds now behind the leader. Max Francis, we know, as being one of the best defending drivers in this league. He's very good when it comes to defending through corners, as we watched in the first 3 rounds of the championship at Brands Hatch. He was very good around the last corner. Oh, and we've had a crash. And that's Callum Newsham. He's out, it seems. He's had a... Yes, that's Callum Newsham. He's actually had to go to the pit lane after that incident. So the leader is now out of the running. Lewis Brown now running in first position. Max Bird not too far behind him, so it's going to be a 2-horse race, it seems. Andreas Lunden automatically being put into 3rd position. It's very unfortunate from Newsham. He was really looking forward to this race today. Must have just had a little bit too much curb and he's just lost it. Francis now trying to push Brockhurst into making a mistake. Oh, and in saying that, Max Francis nearly had the gravel trap to deal with there. A bit of a wider line than what desirable around Zeppelin. Now we come up to Hotel. He's had a little too much on the brakes there compared to Brockhurst. Brockhurst was a little bit braver there. George Leslie as well running into Hotel. He's up in 6th position. If he manages to stay in that position, I'm sure he'll be very happy. I haven't had a chance to catch up with him yet and see how he's feeling in the Sim Games Online family. Second right now. He's not had any chance to really push and have a chance on Lewis Brown just yet, but we still have 5 minutes of this race, so anything could happen, as we saw with the issue with Newsham. Now we're on the run down towards the Shell curve. Max again, he is a little bit braver on his brakes there than what Lewis is. I think Lewis is feeling the pressure just a little bit. As we know, Max and Lewis are both very good drivers in real life, so watching these guys buzz around the track in a virtual sense is also just really invigorating. Max Bird setting fastest lap at 1:42.4. Max Francis having trouble with his brakes, it seemed there. He's having a little bubble with a cutter. Brocker still running in 4th position. Max Francis definitely making a few mistakes that last lap. Brockhurst has started to carry on. Down the timing now, it's less than a second between Max Bird and Lewis Brown. It's just, it seems like it's on the second. I think Mick's got a little bit of damage to his car. He looks like he's struggling a little bit. It's a shame from him. He had such a good starting position right in the middle of the pack. Could have made something there. He's managed to get past Matthew Williams. Mick's just such a great guy as well. When you speak to him, he's so down to earth. All of these guys are. Matthew Williams running at the back of the pack now. Again, just having a fantastic race from him. He's just enjoying driving around in the cars with everybody. That's the thing with Sim Games Online, guys, is it's not just about being extremely competitive with each other. It's just about having fun in that competitive environment and just enjoying the company of everybody who enjoys the same sports that you do. And that's the ethos that we bring, is we're just trying to make kind of an esports setting more affordable, while at the same time letting everybody have a great time. Soon, in the pipeline, we have the Old Vintage Championship that will be running soon. I do believe that will be run on R Factor 2, but at the moment, just due to some other things going on, it's just going to be the Legends Championship at the moment that's going to be run. Max Bird not too far now, he's just 0.5 behind Lewis Brown coming up to Shell Curve. Fantastic work put into this track though by the organisers at Sim Games Online to get the sponsors and everything on the billboards. I hope you guys really do appreciate that it's not an easy job. The guys over at Sim Games Online, they spent a lot of time, and I've been in parties with them talking while they've been doing it, and it's definitely not the easiest job in the world. Really close laps there from both Brown and Bird. Coming down into Hotel. Matthew Williams just having a little bit of an off-track moment there, unfortunately, from him. Callum Brockhurst having to go to the inside now, as Max Francis manages to get by. As we were saying, now it's going to be very difficult for Brockhurst to maintain and get back into that position. As Francis is very good at putting his car on the apex. As you see here, Brockhurst could have had a little bit of he could have been a little bit braver on the brakes, but he didn't need to. Brockhurst, he's now falling a little bit behind now. So I think that's definitely Francis. He's found his pace around this track. He's not letting him go though. He's just a little bit of a challenge. So we see, oh, Max Bird having a little bit of a tussle now. He's managed to get right close to Lewis. Mr. Brown's going to have a bit of trouble coming down into the second last corner, the Bauer curve. Really close down to the line. We've got the Zeppelin now, and these two are just neck and neck, as Max Bird's had to really fake out of it. I do believe. And that's, oh, Mick Sutton, he's had it. Had another spin, unfortunately, off the track. Very unfortunate from him. We've got one more lap. Can Max Bird make something of this battle? As Callum Brockhurst manages to get past Francis. Running on the last lap, you can see Francis, he wants that position. I can definitely tell you right now, Kieran, that these guys have been doing it for years. Oh, really wide. I think he tapped the back there, and that's Max Francis out of the fight so far to get into fourth position. So right now Callum is a bit safer than he is. If we can go back to the top two, Lewis Brown and Max Bird. Max Bird could have another run into Lewis Brown in the last few corners. We're coming up to Shell Curve, and next straight. He's really close now. He's managing to hold on to the car very well through McDonald's. Is he going to be late on the brakes like he was last time? Is he going to get right up next to Lewis Brown? Lewis Brown having a little bit sideways action through there on the rear tyres, but he's managed to maintain it. Again, this is the battle for the lead right now, coming up to the last corner. He's going to try and take the inside line. It's really close, but it looks like Lewis Brown is going to maintain his lead for the first win of today's championship. Fantastic work from these two guys. Matthew Williams has had an unfortunate spin there on the last lap, but Andreas Lunden going to be in third position as he crosses the line. Callum Brockhurst coming round Zeppelin for the last time in this race. He's going to take fourth position. Max Francis in fifth. Unlucky there from Max Francis. He had a good battle with him throughout that race. Mick Sutton down in seventh. That's George Leslie. Mick seems very aggressive on that steer. Have a little bit of damage to that car after that race. Matthew Williams as well. Still to cross the line, and once that's over, that'll be the end of the first race here at Oschersleben in Germany. So I hope you guys enjoyed that first race in today's championship. And remember, this is round 7, 8 and 9. So we've got 3 races up for grabs for everybody to get their fingers into. As we're going to go to some ads for just now. Okay. So we're just now waiting for the interviewers, interviewees. I need to apologize for my use of the English language. We'll just get them into the party in 2 seconds. So hopefully I can pull in the first interview, and that is Andreas Lunden, finished in 3rd place in today's race. Hello, Andreas. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm fine.
Perfect. How did that race go for you?
It was, other than the first 5 laps, it was quite calm, to be honest.
Yeah, it looked like you, as soon as you got into your position, you just settled into the racing line and you didn't really have anything else to worry about. What was going through your head during the safety car?
It was quite good for me because I had the drive through in the start, so gave me a second chance, really.
Oh, fair enough. Could you tell us what actually was the drive-through? Because we saw you go into the pits and we weren't too sure.
I rolled a bit in the start before the lights went out.
Ah, okay. So that explains why you ended up getting into the pits. Have you got, I'm going to talk about this a little bit because you've got 2 two more races. Do you think that you can make another podium at least out of it?
Hopefully, just if I can hang on to the fast guys from the beginning, it
Excellent.
can pick up a podium there.
Okay, perfect. Well, anyway, I hope that we see you again on the podium and we get a chance to chat to you again. Good luck for your next few races.
Thank you.
That was Andreas Lunden, our third place finisher in the first race. We'll now get second place of Max Bird in the chat to chat to us now. Max Bird, excellent drive. A little bit unlucky towards the end there. How do you feel that race went for you?
Yeah, I mean, a bit of a rocky start, but yeah, towards the end, I think we came quite good. We were probably a little bit quicker than Lewis, but I suspect that was just the pressure from me following him. Obviously, he's a quick guy, so we had a bit of a battle, and I just didn't seem to make the most of it. Yeah, obviously, around the outside only works some of the time.
Yeah. So you started, was it 7th on the grid? So that must have, you know, in that first lap, you made up a fair few places. Tell us how that happened.
Oh well, no, I messed up turn 1 and tapped someone, and I spun myself, so I was back down to last, I think.
Yeah, I remember seeing that. So when we were looking, we remember commenting on the fact that you had a little bit of a tap after. Was it turn 1?
Yeah, I
around
just slightly
Hotel?
outbraked myself and tapped someone it, but it sent me off, so that was all right.
Okay.
Yeah, and obviously then there was a slight incident a couple of laps in before the safety car, and that sort of gave me a couple of places, and then I was able to sort of make my way up to the front guys, really.
Excellent. I've just got, talking about this track, because I know you've driven around here in real life, haven't you? So, how different is the game version to real life?
Not driven around this exact one, but I've done a lot of different sim stuff on this track, and
Okay.
this version definitely feels the most sort of, I guess, realistic to how the car's handling all that sort of thing.
Okay. Yeah,
But
that makes
definitely
sense.
the car around here feels a lot nicer than it did at Knock Hills. So
Yeah, Knock Hill's quite a weird one with all the hills, so I think a flatter track was something that you were needing. Anyway, thank you for dropping by and speaking to us, and we hope to see you on the podium again, and I'm sure we will.
cheers.
Good luck. So that was our second place finisher for that race, Max Bird. We're gonna go to Lewis Brown. Throw him in the comms. He was our winner. Lewis, fantastic race from you. How do you think it went from your perspective?
Do you know what I mean? I think we picked up a few on someone else's misfortunes there. So Callum was just ridiculously fast. He was just unlucky to have his. He went down the gears a little bit too quickly and blew his engine. But yeah, it was. To be honest, in testing, we were the quickest. Yeah, we just sort of had a bit of just can't seem to get it to. We couldn't get it pulled together so far, but yeah, no, to get the win, it was good. Say Max was very quick at the end. We sort of I was managing the second gap, and one little mistake out the third corner, dropping a wheel off cost us massively. Allowed them to close up to that half a tenth, like right on your sort of bumper area and in the overtaking territory. And then yeah, another mistake later on allowed him to get around the outside. But I just knew if we could just do you know what I mean, hold it in the inside, and just try and keep into the outside, because at the end of the day the quickest line is always the inside, and yeah, that just allowed me to get that gap at the end which gave me the win.
Yeah, definitely, and I think that really worked out for you as well, especially unfortunate mishaps there from Callum. I wasn't too aware if he blew his engine, but I assumed that he had a little bit of an incident and went off anyway, and he was out of the race. But how difficult is it to defend against Max Bird, especially going around like the last two corners, because it's all about entry and exits there?
Yeah, that's good. He's quick lad in real life. He's the quick lad on the sim. So yeah, it was difficult. But yeah, I just knew, just hold it the inside, defend the line. Don't do you know what I mean? Don't let him get the overcut. Cause if he would have got in front, and I probably would have had one corner to maybe pull the move off back at him, which I would have thought he would defend. But yeah, I think if he would have got in front for 2 or 3 corners, he would have been gone. I didn't really have the pace to keep up. I think This reverse grid's just about points. I think Callum's probably going to drive away here, unless hopefully no more misfortune from Touchwood. But yeah, I think if we can I think we're really realistically aiming for third, maybe second here. And then the last race will be looking to hope to pick up on maybe a couple of bits of contact.
Perfect. Anyway, thank you very much for joining us in the comm box. I've just heard from race director. He's telling you to get ready to jump into the next race, as we've got a minute till the start. But anyway, I hope to be able to chat to you again, and we can go through more of it. And anyway, thank you very much for joining us, and good luck for the next races.
Cheers, mate.
So that was Lewis Brown, our first place finisher in that last race. We're just waiting for a couple more drivers to join onto the grid. Remember now, it is a reverse grid from the last time. Just waiting for, obviously, Lewis Brown to join in, and we should be ready to go. Some really good racing throughout that battling at the front. The second race is always my favourite because you've always got the fast guys at the back and they've got to push through. So we're now just waiting for the 6 red lights to go. Here we go. And that's Callum Newsham, obviously, after finishing last in that last race. He's got a good chance to push forward now. Callum Newsham and both Callum Newsham and I'm pretty sure it is Lewis Brown are tied second in the championship after that first race, as Mick Sutton's going off a little bit on the wide side. He's still running second place, but Max Bird already making up positions, and Matthew having a little bit of a spin out there, a little bit unfortunate from him, but he manages to get the car spun round and ready to go. Max Bird getting caught up, and we've got a little bit of an incident. 3 cars going wide. Max Francis and Mick Sutton having a little bit of a tangle. Mick Sutton getting away faster. We've actually been given another safety car at the moment, just to bunch the guys up after that incident. George Leslie running up in 4th position again. He had a fantastic race last time. He had a few offs that he'll be looking to try and correct this time. Callum Brockhurst running in 2nd place. Lewis Brown had a fantastic start and he's up in 3rd. Max Bird managing to go through into 5th now after having all those issues. And then Mosley saying she's gutted. I think we all are after seeing that little bit of an incident. Race director saying safety car in this lap. So Callum Newsham still, hopefully he doesn't bang the gears too much this time, blow his engine like last time. Callum Brockhurst, he'll be looking to try and get as fast as he can off the line, because the better start he has now will benefit him throughout the whole race. We cross the line, it's just going to be under 13 minutes left of racing. And here we go, we are green. So we pass the fastest line. Andreas Lunden down in 6th place. He was our 3rd place winner in that last race. Max Bird, nice move on the outside of George Leslie. Mick Sutton trying to go around the outside as well. He goes a little bit wide. Max Francis also pushing a tiny bit wide. Mick Sutton taking the outside line again. He's been pushed to the outside quite a lot. Callum Brockhurst having a little bit of a wide run out of Haschroeder, but he's now running down in 3rd place after that restart. Now we've got Callum Newsham and Lewis Brown battling for the lead. Max Francis running down in 7th. He's not had a very good start to the race. Andreas Lunden up in Bird now. He's managed to get past Brockhurst, going through McDonald's. Managed to pick himself up a burger as he was going through, but Max Bird also picking up a position there as Andreas has a little bit of a wider entry into that corner. Can he manage to fight back as Max Bird's got the inside line coming through Bauer? Andreas is going to try and take the inside. Max Bird a little bit out of shape through Zeppelin. Start finish straight. Max Bird getting a faster exit on Zeppelin, so he's just managed to get away a little bit. Really nicely done there from Max Bird. He's really capitalised on his position. Matthew Williams now up into 8th position. Mick Sutton having to try and really fight to get back at him now. Max Francis down in 7th. George Leslie in 6th at this moment. 10.5 minutes to go in the second race. Andreas Linden really trying to push back on Max Bird. A lot of battling going on. Ooh, and it looks like George Leslie had a little bit of an incident there. He's really dropped behind. He might have dropped a gear too early. Going through McDonald's now. Really close. Is Andreas gonna? Is he gonna try and dive to the inside? No, he actually pushes the brakes just a little bit too early there. But he's still got the run on Max Bird. A really good battle here. Max Bird defending to try and stop him from going the outside line. Now as they come through Zeppelin, a little bit out of shape there from Andreas as he hits the rumble strip. Al Newsham setting fastest lap 1:43.0. Lewis Brown not too far behind him. Really nicely done stuff here. Andreas is just a little bit more out of shape through Hotel than Max. That's definitely through Hotel, that big long right-hander. You can't afford to lose a lot of traction there. Andreas Linden now diving. He's still trying to get in to the action again with Max Bird, but Max Bird, as we know, is a very quick guy. He's managed to pull a little bit more ahead. We're seeing George Leslie as he's running down in 6th position at the moment. Holding that car together nicely. Good race. We've got 8 minutes left to go now. Mick Sutton down in 8th. He's going to try and see if he can make 5 seconds on Max Francis. And Matthew Williams running at the back of the pack. As we know, he just absolutely enjoys just driving around with everybody, and it's fantastic to see him here with everyone having a good time. It's the same with Mick Sutton, even though he does get himself up in on qualifying. He just enjoys driving around and having a good time with everybody. And that's the whole point of this championship. Lewis Brown now just still running in seconds, about 2 seconds behind now, 2.7 seconds behind Newsham. Newsham getting very nicely off the start, so it's going to be very difficult now. 7 minutes to go. He's just a little bit more out of shape through that corners than what we were seeing from Callum Newsham. By not much though. Andreas Lundin's not too far behind Max Bird, but it's just a little too much to make a dive bomb. We've obviously got two Mintex livery cars on the grid. Max Francis, the number 22 car, and Lewis Brown, the number 39 car. Is going to take the wider line through that corner, see if he can get a better entry and exit through Bauer and into Zeppelin. Lewis Brown setting fastest lap of a 1:42.5. Again, really nicely done from all the guys here, holding the cars together nicely on the track. Still running down in 6th in his purple number 24 car. New to the Sim Games Online community. Definitely enjoys driving around in these cars. He's not been in them for too long. It's a very similar situation to the way that Andreas was introduced to the championship, but he just absolutely thrived in these cars. As we can see, he's running up in 4th position, and obviously finishing 3rd in the last race. All these drivers are fighting for the easy stuff at the end of the season. We've got prizes for all the guys. And it's really good for also the racing car drivers in the group. As there's some really nice tasty stuff that they could use in their cars in real life. Supplying quite a lot of stuff for the Touring Car Championship and certain other touring car leagues. Callum Lewisham actually setting fastest lap again. Max Bird fastest straight after the 1:42.2. He's trying to catch Lewis Brown. George Leslie now under pressure from Max Francis. There's about a second in it now. Just under 4 minutes to go in the second race, the reverse grid. Max Bird, he's really catching on to Lewis Brown now. Lewis obviously making a few mistakes, and obviously Max getting that fastest lap. He's gaining some good time here. A really efficient amount of lean on the car, not too much, but just enough to get the speed out of the car. George Leslie now lost position to Max Francis. So now coming up to McDonald's. Can George Leslie managed to get a better exit here and take it around the straight, and Max Francis goes off the track. Rejoins just next to George. Is George Leslie going to let him go, or is he going to be a little bit later on the brakes through into Shell? Yeah, he had to take the wider line through there. He didn't let him go through. Now going through Ammon. Callum Lewisham setting a fastest lap again, 1:42.19. So again, not too much in it when it comes speed-wise. Again, unless Callum makes a mistake, it does look like he's going to take the win of the second race. He's not really had much challenge this race at all. And that's what happens when you blow your engine during the middle of the first race. For all we know, he did it as a strategy, but Max Francis still holding on ahead of George Leslie. George having a nice exit through there. Max just managing to hold on just a little bit more though. Max Francis is still running ahead of George Leslie, but Max Bird too far off of Lewis Brown as we come into the last few laps of the race. He actually makes a mistake there. Commentator's curse. Maybe I need to stop saying his name. Bird will be looking to try and catch that lost time now, to try and get onto the back of Lewis Brown. As it stands right now, it will be Newsham, Brown and Bird. The three drivers will be on the podium for the second time here at Oschersleben in Germany. George Leslie, he's just still trying to catch up to Francis. Oh, and Francis really slow through Zeppelin. This could be the chance for George to take a dive into the first corner through Hotel. He's instantly went to defensive. He knows that he really made a mistake there. Again, Max Francis is honestly one of the most defensive drivers on the grid here on the Sim Games Online Legends Championship. Leslie still behind. He is trying to catch. There's not much in it. That now is the end of the timed laps. We've got one more lap, obviously. Carl Newsham and Lewis Brown. 4-second gap between these guys now. Max Bird, again, just under a second, I do believe, behind Lewis Brown's Max Bird. So really close racing all round here. Down the back straight now. George Leslie just hasn't got the legs now on Max Francis. It does look like, unless Max Francis makes a mistake within the next lap, that George Leslie is going to finish in 7th position behind him. We're now on the last lap. Max Bird is now actually up into 2nd position, as Lewis Brown's obviously had a little bit of a mistake down at Zeppelin. Can Lewis Brown fight back as he goes sideways? Coming into Haschroeder now. Is there going to be a move made on the outside? Really good defending from Max Bird. He plants his car exactly on the apex to stop Lewis Brown from having a dive around the outside. Max Bird now firmly in 2nd place. Lewis Brown's just trying to claw back the position that he lost. Matthew now having a little bit of a spin out down at Amen. George Leslie still not managing to push Max Francis, but I can guarantee that Max Francis will be thanking George Leslie for that good race so far. Aaron on Facebook saying, yes Max, let's go. Fantastic move for Max going into Hotel. Has put him into 2nd place, so as we come over the line, we're going to have Cal Newsham, who is going to take the race win here for the first time for him today on the podium. Fantastic drive from him, very commanding. 2nd place is Max Bird, and in 3rd place we have Lewis Brown. 4th, we have Andreas Lunden. Fantastic driving from him today has put him not only on the podium in the 1st race, but he's managed to get into 4th place as well on the 2nd race. Fantastic drive from these guys. Max Francis going to finish in 6th with George Leslie in 7th. Mick Sutton managing to drag home P8. Fantastic work from these guys. Matthew Williams is going to come across the line in P9. I'll now just wait for Matthew to cross the line, and then we'll go through on interviews. But that fantastic drive from Callum Newsham has put him up in first place. So from what I'm aware, that puts him solid second in the championship, at least at the moment. And if not first, after Max Bird finishing third, it was tied between Callum. Yeah, slight shortcut there from Matthew as he's coming across the line for the final time in this session. We're now going to do some adverts, and then we'll be ready for interviews. So we're now going into the interview portion of the second race. We're going to quickly have a conversation with Mr. Max, with Lewis Brown, finishing third in that race. Lewis, unlucky there on the last few laps of the race. Tell us how that race went from your perspective.
It was all good up until the last two laps, and just it's like the car just went off a cliff. Really, it was horrible to drive at the end. So I think we lost over a second in 3 corners, and yeah, I don't really know what happened there, to be honest. It's I don't know, honestly, we do the testing coming up to it and get the setup right, and we're like really quick, and then all of a sudden I've done nothing different really. Same setup, and the car, I just can't get it to work. It just won't work, and don't know why it won't work today, but it just won't work. So like, yeah, but no, well, so third ain't too bad. But yeah, I think we should have really had second there, but it's just I drove up, the car went off a cliff at the end, and it was just not nice to drive.
Yeah, definitely. We could see that you were losing a little bit of pace, especially through the corners. Do you reckon that could maybe down to a bit more of an aggressive setup on the tyres?
I don't know, because like I say, we're testing, it's been fine, and we've just come into it now, and it's just, I'm just looking at the setup now, just I don't honestly know what we've done differently. It's just not working with the fuel in the car.
Anyway, I don't know if there's much to really change just now. I don't know if you've got enough time to change anything for the next race. Obviously, it's the qualifying one now. Have you got high hopes, though, to see if you can just get out on front in the first few laps?
We'll see. So we've got Max and Callum, and yeah, we just have to wait and see what happens with them two, because obviously they're I've shown they're much quicker than me tonight. So yeah, just wait and see. Hopefully we might be able to pick up a few pieces, and maybe if they have a bit of contact, we're able to get through. But yeah, wait and see, because it's like we have the first few laps is good, then after that sort of drive goes a little bit. So yeah, we'll just wait and see.
Yeah, no, that was excellent drive though from you, especially towards the end when you were having the troubles with the car. So you should be very proud of that, and congratulations on your podium.
Thank you.
And that was Lewis Brown, our third place finisher in that race. We're now going to speak to Max Bird, who finished second in that last race. Max Bird, fantastic drive towards the end there. A few fastest laps in there as well. How does it go from your point of view?
Yeah, no, all good. Just a bit of a tough start again. But once I sort of got into the rhythm, I think I was pretty rapid.
Yeah, I think rapid was just an understatement there. I mean, once you got into the pace and you started to get a little bit of a slipstream from Lewis. I think you definitely had a good push on. So yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, I would say that was a good work from you though.
definitely 3/10 fast. I've never been around there, and I don't even know how I did it. So
Yeah, just towards the end there, Lewis was saying he had a little bit of fall off on the car. Did you start to feel a little bit of a fall off on the tires there towards the end?
no, to be fair, I'd say the opposite. It just kept on getting quicker and quicker. It took a long time to come on at the start, just down to I've set it up, and it seems to come good the last sort of 5-6 laps. So
Yeah. Well, that's excellent work from you anyway. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to cut the interview a little bit shorter today as we're trying to get through the racing, but hopefully we get a chance to speak to you towards the last race now, so I'm sure you'll be on the podium again.
sure, yeah, hopefully it goes well.
Good luck. And now we've got Callum Newsham, today's winner of the second race. Callum Newsham, fantastic drive from you, absolutely commanding victory. How do you think it went from your point of view?
Yeah, it went pretty easy, to be fair. I'm quite happy with that. Yeah, I had pretty good pace at the start compared to Lewis, but he seemed to drop back a bit. But yeah, Max was pretty damn quick at the end there, though.
Yeah, Max was saying that he just felt the car getting quicker and quicker, but Lewis actually said that his setup wasn't. It started to get worse and worse. Did you feel something in the car changing towards the end of the laps?
No, with my car, my setup, it just gradually get quicker. It doesn't seem to drop off near the end there. So yeah.
Yeah, but that would I'm sure that he's managed to fix it, and I'm sure he'll give you a bit of a run for your money in this next race. Have you got, especially when that last race happened, how did you feel like when did the engine burst? Did you just feel a little bit burst inside?
No, well, in the first race, yeah, I was leading quite comfortably. I just got I downshifted, but it downshifted twice, so I just blew up the engine immediately. So yeah, bit of a mechanical failure there.
Yeah, that was very unlucky. I've definitely had that happen to me before in these cars, and it kills the engine, especially if you're in low gears. So yeah, definitely well done for the good driving, and we hope to see you again on the podium in the next race.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Cheers.
So that was our interviews there. We're trying to hurry them a little bit up so that we can get them all on the grid, so they can feel a little bit more comfortable, especially towards the last race. We don't want them just talking right up towards the end. Sometimes that little bit of tense moment is the best thing for them. While we're waiting though, we'll give you a little bit more information about the track. The reason that we're getting 142 lap times around here is actually a 2.297 mile long track around here, and it's just not much elevation change whatsoever. So the cars, the only change in speed that they're got around here is there is 4 90-degree turns, or more than 90-degree turns, that the drivers have to take. So you've got some really good work, especially Hotel is pretty much a complete 180 around that big baller, then Haasroder, and then at the end of Triple you've got one, and then Zeppelin is another hard one as well on the tires. So we're going to get ready to start the race. We've got all the guys ready to go. They're all lined up on the grid now. We should be ready to go within the next minute and ready to race. It's going to be some good fun, I think. This is going to be fantastic here. Max Bird, obviously qualifying pole. Callum Newsham in second. Lewis Brown in third. Fourth, we've got Max Francis as well. Is that Max Francis? No, it's Andreas Lunden. I just couldn't see the car name. We got Mick Sutton in fifth. Callum Brockhurst in sixth. George Leslie in seventh. In eighth, we have Max Francis. And in ninth, we have Matthew Wilson. 6 red lights. And off we go for the last race of this evening. Mick Sutton having a good start there. He's put himself into the line nice and well. No major position changes off the start. Lewis Brown running in third, Andreas Lunden in fourth. Andreas actually having a bit of a lock-up. Mick Sutton losing a place to Callum Brockers going wide. He could lose another one to Max Francis round Hotel here, and he does, but he slots his car nice and snug, quite close to George. I'm sure George didn't enjoy that. Andreas still running fourth, but Callum Newsham really pushing Bird off of the bat here. Let's drive. All the drivers now coming through triple. It's a nice, this is a satisfying corner if you get it right. Mick Sutton now chasing down Francis. Does he have a chance if he holds the car together here to get him on the straight? He could, as Max Francis takes the back end a little bit wide there. But then so does Mick Sutton, he pushes it onto the rumble, so his chance there has unfortunately faltered away from him. Callum Newsham not far off of the back of Max Bird coming through into the final 2 corners of the first lap. Newsham is just applying pressure as much as he can to get Max Bird to make a mistake. Racing is to not look in your mirrors until the last second, because it's scary when you've got somebody like Newsham really up behind you. Lewis Brown also catching up on Newsham as well. All 3 of these guys coming round Hotel, really nice and snug between them. Some clean racing. Yes, as we were talking about that, Kieran, the track is not optimum. Obviously, the driver's having a bit of a break, so it's now only fast. So the track is a bit slidey. You're going to see the cars slide a little bit around, just a little bit more. Just a tiny bit. Lewis Brown's fallen back just a tiny bit now behind Newsham. Mick Sutton running down in 7th place. He'll be looking to gain at least another position now. Bit too much speed going through into that corner. He's put himself a little bit wide. Andreas Lunden in 4th. He's going to be wanting 3rd. He's fallen behind, unfortunately, though, so he is nowhere near that position at the moment. Unless these 3 guys up front make some sort of battle, there is going to be very little chance for Andreas to catch up. Andreas manages to find another gear as he goes 2 wheels into Amen there. Nice bit of sliding through there. He nearly lost it. It's a big lock-up. He's having a bit of trouble with the car right now. Mick Sutton still really close. These 4 drivers are all bunched up together coming down the start-finish straight. On the run down into Hotel. Can we see Mick Sutton have a bit of a dive on Francis? No, but it's definitely allowed for George Leslie to catch up a little bit. Can Mick manage to make a little bit more of a change through the corner? Lewis Brown, he's actually managing to stick to the back of Newsham without any problems at the moment. Max Bird getting a little bit farther away. That just suggests to me that Newsham's had a little bit of an incident. A little bit of a slower start to the race than he would have liked. Fantastic driving though from Lewis Brown to just hold on to the back of the pack. I'm sure he's doing this on purpose, just applying the pressure to see if the guys are going to make a mistake. He's coming down on the run down to Shell. Brown, he's actually losing a little bit of time through Shell. I must have Must have touched the brake just a little too much through there. Nice bit of slide into Bauer. Max Francis still running in 6th at the moment. Brockhurst not too far ahead of him. But that's Sutton. He is now under pressure from Leslie. Coming through Zeppelin. This could be deciding for them. Mick Sutton having a better exit through there. Nice use of curb there from Sutton in front, but he actually pushes it a tiny bit wider than he would have liked round Hotel. Now as we come through into Haasreuder. George taking the inside line through there. He's managed to gain a little bit of work. Kate Baker is saying good morning in the chat. I would hope it's not morning. If it was morning, then I'm late to work. George Leslie. He's dropped back a little bit as Mick start to find a bit of pace through there. Can Mick manage to pull up a little bit more on Francis over the next few laps, but Max Bird still leading, only 0.7 behind is Newsham. Lewis Brown though, again only 1.4 behind the leader, so again 0.7 for those two drivers. They're really pretty much neck and neck right now. They're within each other's slipstream just. As Mick goes wide and comes back on the track, is he going to have the inside line for Zeppelin? He actually has contact with Leslie, but it's not too much. But Mick manages to regain the position. He lost a bit of time through there. Be interesting to see what's happening at the front of the pack right now, if the drivers are having a bit of a tussle. They're really close together. Mick taking a little bit of an alternative line again through Hotel, but Max Francis in 6th. Rocker starting to pull away from him, and Andreas Lunden in front of him. 4th, 5th and 6th for these guys. It's nice to see kind of a smaller car grid, especially for this type of motorsport. It means you can definitely watch the drivers a lot more closely. Francis dips into the corner nicely. Really good work from him. Francis is really getting to grips with this car now. He had a really good run round Brands Hatch Indy at the start of the season. Mick Sutton down in 8th. He's definitely made a mistake, and George Leslie has capitalised on it. But these 3 drivers at the front, I think we're going to have to stay here for a little bit, as Lewis Brown is really putting the pressure on Newsham now, coming down the start-finish straight. As they're all neck and neck pretty much coming into Hotel. 6 minutes of racing to go, so anything could really happen here. Newsham having to hit the brakes a little too much around Hotel. Lewis Brown having a little bit more speed carried through. I wonder if his setup is starting to go off, but it definitely doesn't seem like it. He is really trying to grab onto the back of Newsham's car and just piggyback into the lead, it seems, but Newsham is pretty much doing the same to Max Bird in front, so it's you know, we don't see too much difference as Lewis Brown takes a bit of a slide round towards the end of Triple and into McDonald's chicane. Lewis Brown now is we're pretty much neck and neck. Who's going to be on the brakes first? Is Callum Newsham going to get through into Shell here, and he does. Really nicely done from him, but can Max Bird get the switchback? No, he can't. Fantastic overtake there from Newsham. Coming into the final two corners there, and they're just neck and neck again. These three drivers just all pushing to get in front of each other. Can Max Bird get a better exit through Zeppelin? No, he can't. They're both neck and neck again. If anything, the only driver to miss out there was Brown. Newsham again, 142.3. It's a lot of pressure on the guys now. Can Callum Newsham hold on and get his second win of the day here at Oschersleben? As we come round Haßreuter now. Can Max Bird make a move around the outside? No. Callum Newsham again just being a little too far in front. These guys know their braking limits perfectly around here. There's not much time to be gained when it comes to all of that. It's down to mistakes now. Max Bird falling into the clutches now of Lewis Brown. Round triple. Oh, and Newsham hits the rumble strip on the inside. I think he hit the sausage curb. Lost a little bit of time through there. Still holding on to the lead though. Being very aggressive on the steering, just trying to hold on just a little bit more. Max Bird applying as much pressure as he possibly can in that 175cc engine. Brown having a little bit of oversteer again into Ammon. To Bowery, takes a little bit of a bumpy line through there. A little bit later on the brakes again, but is he going to get a better exit? No, he's quite slow out of Zeppelin there, so his car setup could be dying a little bit for him, but I think that mistake going over the curb definitely cost him. Callum Newsham only 0.2 behind is Max Bird. He's really putting the pressure on now. These two drivers are going to be looking to get the lead, and I think Lewis Brown will be also in the mix again. Only 2.5 minutes to go of racing, plus that extra lap that they get to do. Max Bird a little bit later on the brakes through there. Fantastic from him. He is really putting the pressure on now. Can Newsham get a little bit affected by the pressure that is being applied? Both these guys seem very cool under the pressure that is being put on them in all races so far. But again, Newsham going out wide there. He really lost a little bit of time. Coming through McDonald's now. The key is to try and not take too much curb through there. Only enough. You want to get the straightest line possible to give you the best run onto the back straight. Coming through Shell now. Could this be where we see Max Bird a little bit later on the brakes? He does. He gains about another 0.2 of a second there, but he does lose it again. Back end on these cars just comes out so easily. Oh, a little bit lost time through there. He touched the sausage curb. You've got to be very careful of these sausage curbs around here. At least they're not like Kyalami sausage curbs where if you hit them in the car you go flying. To anybody that's seen the Kyalami International Circuit in South Africa, I know I've been doing a lot of driving around there recently in ACC and the competitive scene, and I know for a fact that if you hit those sausage curbs around there you get sent to space. Kay Baker saying, come on Callum, don't panic. Keep it smooth. I'm sure he is keeping it as smooth as he possibly can, especially with Max Bird behind him. Only 30 seconds left of racing here. We've obviously got another lap to add on. On top of that, Mick Sutton in 8th at the moment as he's trying to catch on to George Leslie in front of him. Max Francis in 6th place. So you see those two driving in the back there. Kieran Wright saying he knows all about the issues at Kyalami, and saying that Newsham's had a fantastic drive here. Lewis Brown really going to try and make a move on Max Bird into Shell. Is he going to get it sticky? No. Good defending there from Max Bird. Is it going to be the switchback? No. Max Bird again coming across to defend. But Max Bird goes wide. Lewis Brown goes through. Fantastic from him. He definitely put as much pressure as he could through there. Max Bird making a little mistake in the last few corners through there now. As we have one more lap to go. Can Max Bird catch up to Brown? As we see a 1:41.7 for Newsham. That is the lap record for today's racing. Again, Kieran saying, you know, very intelligent racing. Yeah, these guys, they know what they're doing in cars. They are mini touring car drivers, some of them, so they definitely know how to drive. Max Bird, he's a quick guy in real life, so he knows where he needs to put the car around the tracks. Max Bird, he's really trying to maximise as much pace as he can out of the little 175cc engine. He's really pushing now. Can he get past Brown on the last lap? It does look slightly unlikely, but just the smallest mistake from Brown could mean that Max Bird gets back through into second place. But right now our running order in the top three is Newsham, Brown and Bird. As we come onto the back straight now through Shell, Newsham is nowhere to be seen. He's about 2.6 seconds ahead now from these two battling. So Newsham is going to take the win. And it does look like, unless Brown makes a mistake in the last two corners, into Zeppelin especially, that he is going to take second and Max Bird is going to take third. And there we go. Callum Newsham winning the last race of tonight, his second win at Oschersleben. Max Bird getting a little bit unlucky, getting forced wide through Amin, and just very unlucky. Andreas Lundin finishing in fourth place. Not much he could do there with those guys battling. Callum Brockhurst coming home to take fifth. Max Francis only about 2 seconds behind in sixth. George Leslie in seventh, with Mick Sutton not too far behind in eighth. Some really good driving from these guys, and Matthew Williams coming through McDonald's for the last time now, as we see everybody coming through finish the race. Fantastic drive there from everybody. We'll soon enough get started with the interviews. We'll go to a quick interval while we wait for everybody to jump in the chats. Daniel saying, GG guys, awesome race. Anna Mosley saying, well done everyone, fantastic work from everyone as well. Some good racing tonight, all round, in all three races, and even in quali, as we saw some good times being posted through there. Just a big shout out to all of you in the chat that have stayed in with us through thick and thin today. I know we had a little bit of a rough start as we were trying to get everything to work. We've got some new stuff coming your way within the next few months, so please stay posted, and we hope to see you guys popping in a lot more. Now we'll just get in and get ready to do the post-race interviews. I'm going to drag in third place finisher Max Bird. Max, a little bit unlucky there at the end. What was going through your head on that last few laps?
Not a lot really. I just sort of made a few mistakes and that was it. The guys were close behind and they were able to take sort of my place really. That's about it really.
Definitely. Do you think that Lewis put that pressure on you coming through Shell there for that, you know, where you made that mistake, or was it just self-inflicted?
What, that right, left? I
Yeah,
thought he was on the inside. I didn't want to close the door and cause an incident, but yeah.
Yeah, definitely. As you see Matthew having some donuts around the track. But yeah, I want to say though, like, fantastic drive from you today, even though I know that you were feeling a little bit more unlucky through that last stint. Did you feel like you had a good chance to win that race?
Yeah, Callum was rapid, but I think if I'd not made those mistakes, I probably would have won. But I didn't, so finished third, and we'll take the points.
Yeah, definitely. Just one more question. Do you think that you could, in the next round of the championship, take a few more points away?
Well, it depends what the championship is now. I don't know what it will be on now, but hopefully we'll get a few more podiums and stuff and build up a lead. Hopefully.
I do believe it's very close at the moment, so definitely check in with the Sim Games Online admins and see where you are in the standings at the end. Anyway, thank you very much for joining us today for the interviews, and stay safe, and we'll hope to see you again next week.
Cheers, mate.
That was Max Bird, our third place finisher in that race. We'll now speak to Lewis Brown, our second place finisher. Lewis, fantastic move coming through Shell and Amen there. Obviously, we know that we saw a bit of a mistake from Max Bird that definitely got you in the lead. But were you happy at all that was going to happen?
Yeah, I think I made a slight setup adjustment for that race. It seemed to work better at the end. But yeah, no, it's one of them moves where I've got one corner to make this stick. And yeah, I just knew I had to. I tried doing it in race 2, but I was just too far back to pull it off. But yeah, no, yeah, I could see Max was really slowing it up mid corner to try and get it to the right to open up the left. So I know if I could just carry enough speed through and get up his inside, I'd have the line. And if he tried going around the outside, I saw him plant his foot and try and keep the position, but yeah, just knew it resulted in him. He just resulted in himself going off. So yeah, no, good second, good bottle of points, and yeah, I was happy with that.
Yes, the championship is very close now, between I think all three of yous, especially after that third place from Max. So hopefully, I think we're at Auto 24 next. I think, which is in Estonia. So do you think that the amount of testing that we've done around there that you could bring it home for the championship win?
Maybe. Let's wait and see. It's still early doors, isn't it? So yeah, just have to wait and see, and we'll do some testing coming up to this week, come up to next week, and yeah, so we've got some real life stuff going on at the end of this week. So yeah, and starting next week we'll start testing.
Excellent. Well, anyway, good luck for everything that you've got on in the future, and hopefully we'll see you on the grid next week. That was Lewis Brown there, our second place finisher. We're now going to go on to our race winner and final winner here at the Oschersleben Moto Circuit, Callum Newsham. Callum Newsham, what a fantastic race that was. How do you think it went from your perspective?
Yep, I'm happy with that. 2 wins and a DNF are better than nothing.
Definitely. I mean, the championship now is just, it's really neck and neck between you three. I'm thinking it's Auto 24 ring next. I'm sure somebody can correct me on it next week or whatever. But it does look like it's going to be down to the wire in the championship. Do you think that over the next few races you could pull out a few more wins?
Yeah, I don't see why not. I hope so, because we've had pretty strong pace here. So we'll take it on to the next round.
Yeah, definitely. Do you think as well? I'll ask you a couple of questions. Do you think that your setup definitely worked there in Oschersleben?
Yeah, I didn't really change it much from what I had at Knockhill. I changed a little bits, but yeah, I was just quite consistent. And that's how you win a race, is being consistent.
Definitely, especially when you've got guys battling like Max Bird and Lewis Brown. Were you happy that those guys were battling behind you?
Yeah, it gave me a bit of breathing space, but Max made the mistake, didn't he? And I got through. So if he didn't make that mistake, it probably would have been quite hard for me to win. He would have made it hard anyway. But yeah.
Yeah, no, that was good racing from you. And do you want to know something? I can't wait to see where this championship goes for you and for the other guys. And hopefully we see you guys coming away with the prizes that all the sponsors are providing, such as SBA Technique and all the other sponsors that are helping out, like Liqui Moly and Molsey Car Valeting. So anyway, thank you very much, Callum, for joining us in the commentary booth, and we'll hope to see you next week.
Cheers, mate. See you next week.
Yeah. Anyway, that's all we have time for tonight in the Sim Games Online Legends Championship. I've been your host, Andrew Gattin, and I hope you guys have had a good time tonight, such as myself. And I'm sure that you guys will stay safe and be humble to each other and enjoy the next week without us. Anyway, thank you very much, guys, and we'll see you next week.